I mean, it's all
Oh
good.
no, I've been ready.
Oh,
I
you
just
been ready? Yeah, I was just waiting
yeah.
on you. That's why I was.
I heard you cooking. I thought you was setting stuff up.
No. I was waiting on you, but everybody, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. That's why
I heard you cooking. I thought
my bad. That was the audio on the video, but we are live. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. I have the brother Ben X on with us this afternoon, lovely afternoon. I think it's still morning. Well, actually, it's morning. I'm tripping. I'm still on Africa time. I just got back from Nigeria, Togo, and Benin. So I'm still on Africa time. So today's topic is the role the Nation of Islam will play in Pan-Africanism. Brother Ben X, brother, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
yes, sir, man. I thank you for having me, man. I am honored that you even chose me for this discussion.
Oh man, well Ben, I reached out to you a couple times, brother, in the
Oh
past.
man,
I know you probably
did I did
messed.
I respond?
No,
Yeah, I probably just didn't see it then. I got so many emails.
yeah, it's all good, bro. But once again, thank you for coming on. But brother, if you could tell everyone a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in the nation, what drew you to the nation. If you could tell everyone.
Um, I've been in the Nation of Islam since 2015.
Okay.
So that was around the Million Man March, the Justice or Else movement. And what drew me to the nation was a brother named, well, several things drew me, but I'll just start from the beginning.
Go ahead.
I was a basketball player. I was an All-American basketball player in college, and I was at this school called Cedar Valley. And a brother came to my school and he was talking about the role of the male and the female in the black family, and about he was breaking down how white supremacy and basically this system is working, pretty much night and day to destroy the black family, the black man, which will lead to destroying the black woman and child and things of that nature. But he was also an entrepreneur. So he had his own school, got his own restaurant. All of his children graduated at the age of 13, 14, 15, things of that nature, because they was all homeschooled. And that was impressive to me. And I was an entrepreneur growing up. I used to flip hot Cheetos and candy at school instead of flipping weed. So I was already an entrepreneur already. And so after I asked him to become my mentor, he invited me out to the study group that we have every Wednesday and Friday. So we have a community meeting every Wednesday and Friday in every area where the Nation of Islam is. And it's basically for everybody, no matter what you believe in, to come together as a group to figure out what we can do to not only tackle the time and what must be done, but to also figure out self-improvement, something I can do to fix myself, because we're always talking about the enemy. But, we rarely, because of the enemy, talk about the enemy. And I believe if we have the enemy in control, those inner forces, the external forces, can't really steer us the way they want to steer us. Another thing that attracted me was how the brothers actually went door to door. They was actually going door to door to the worst neighborhoods. Growing up, if you're in a Christian church, or you're in a Christian church, when you see those brothers that we go into, these are the ones you condemn. Or you got tattoos, God don't like tattoos. Or you sagging, why you sagging? Or you listen to that cussing music, I can't believe that. Jesus ain't, he ain't liking all that. But these are the ones who, we going after. These are the ones who you say are dead, and you saying that Jesus gave life to the dead. Well, these people are dead mentally and spiritually. A lot of them. Now, some of them got wisdom, but they just look like they don't. So these are the ones that the brothers was going to, seeing all of the reviews and seeing all of the brothers talk about how they was pimps, seeing the brothers talk about how they was murderers, seeing how the brothers talk about how they was bad fathers. And after the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they pretty much changed their lives. And now those brothers who was once killers are now giving life to the people. So that was impressive to me, just to see brothers actually make a total 180 in their lives. Another thing, or another brother that was a heavy influence on me, was Brother Muhammad Ali. When he was in the Nation of Islam, and it was just because he was athletic. He was an athlete, but he was also bold with the truth. And because I was an athlete as well, that was impressive to me. And he also had that personality and humor with him. So that was very attractive. And then once I, ran into the minister, all of his lectures and his interviews pretty much answered a lot of my questions that I had about the Bible, a lot of my questions that I had about God. So now, he broke up that spooky thinking about what God is, and that spooky thinking about what certain things occurred. So, he really brought it down to self-improvement and how I can apply it in my life today, not just be looking for somebody from 2,000 years ago. So that's what attracted me to the Nation of Islam. You know, man, the brothers actually being an example of it, and then just me seeing the work.
Okay. Now, what's the future of the Nation of Islam? Like, which direction is the Nation of Islam going in? I know Brother Farrakhan always speaks of do for self and Black people separating and having their own land here in America. Is that something you think is feasible or can happen? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Or, I mean, how is the Nation of Islam pushing that agenda to make it manifest?
Well, the minister was asked a similar question one time, and he said it could be. It could be where we all have our separate territory, and that's what you see on every Final Call newspaper, and that is, you know, pretty much our form of, you know, part of the reparations, you know, for our people being, you know, abused and pretty much used and being slaves, you know, working night and day and in the cold, you know, for pretty much nothing. And, you know, so we basically saying this from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is to get those separate territory and then, you know, give us help so that we can do something for ourselves. But when we say separation at this point, we're talking about not depending on other people to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves. So that means we're going to strive to unite with as many Black people or original people as possible and pool our resources together. So everybody's not going to be into farming. Everybody's not going to be into social engineering. Everybody's not going to be into certain things that we need to run a nation. But if I'm doing my thing and you doing your thing and we unite and pool those resources, then we can do more. So for the Nation of Islam, I see us continuing to self-improve because I believe, you know, we can build up schools. This is me personally talking. We can build up schools. We can build up restaurants. But I believe the most powerful or the greatest thing to build up is the Black man and woman. Because once you build up the Black man and woman, it is the Black man and woman that's going to eventually build up the school. It's the Black man and woman that's going to eventually go get to the farming. So I believe we need a spiritual awakening. Once we have that spiritual awakening and know who we are and our power, then these individuals will tap into the God within. They'll go make these things happen. So I believe we're just going to continue to redeem our people, continue to get into real estate so we can own more. Brother Ishmael actually talked about that the last Sunday, you know, get into buying some apartment buildings so we can house our own people. We already have thousands of acres of land. We have thousands of acres of land in Atlanta, Michigan. We have our own we of course we printing off I'm not printing off, but growing the navy beans, the watermelons. We have 2 websites. We have the Able Food Network where we're growing our organic food on the lands, and then we sending packets, not packets, actually just gonna see school. So we have much of all.
Brother Ben, you're going. We're losing. You're going in and out a little bit.
The audio.
Yeah. It was your connection, but keep going. I think you're fine now.
Okay, yeah, I was saying we're going to continue to build up the schools and strive to just separate, man, as much as we can, and eventually, you know, pool our resources to eventually try to get a factory or something like that, so we can pretty much, you know, get jobs for our people.
Okay. Now you mentioned, you know, the farming. I know at one time, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was a project or initiative for Black people to donate $1 a month for everyone. Is that, am I right? Am I correct?
Yeah, well, it's 5 cents a day.
5 cents a day.
Yeah, so 5 cents a day. What is that? You do 35 cents a week, about $18 a year. So that's the Muhammad's economic blueprint.
Right.
So that is still going. The minister was actually asked about, I wish I had the book, but the minister was actually asked about that in his latest Twitter book. Was that still going? And he says yes. And you know, he didn't get the money that the goal, which is so that we can do something and build something for 40 million plus Black people.
Okay.
So we're still building it, and the money, he said, the money that we got thus far was helping, you know, to get the actual land and the schools and things of that nature. Okay.
And that was my question. So these initiatives, how will they benefit the average brother and sister who is not a member of the Nation of Islam?
Well, a lot of the schools are available to people who are not in the Nation of Islam. So I just visited a few of them myself, actually, and seen it in person. I've been posting a lot of the videos and the clips on my YouTube. If anybody follow me, I just left California. There's a school there. I just left Chicago. There's still a school there. We have the big school is in, you know, Chicago. We have one in Houston. We have 2 here in Dallas. So this money goes into keeping the MUI. So whenever you hear MUI, that means Muhammad University of Islam, and that keeps the schools running, and it also keeps the farm going. Like I said, we got thousands of acres of land in Atlanta and in Atlanta and Michigan.
Okay.
And in Michigan. So they have to get involved to actually, you know, benefit from it. So how it works, you know, we have great prices from the Able Food Network. So how the food works is you go to your local mosque and you order from the Able Food Network. So we have like broccoli, we have fish that doesn't have a lot of mercury in it. We have, I mean, all kind of different things that you can work from. And we also have different people in the Nation of Islam and whoever just connected to the Nation of Islam. If they have their own sauce, if they have their own, you know, dish, whatever they do, that's on the program as well. And once you come to the mosque or the study group, not saying that you join, you come to the mosque or the study group and you order that pallet. If the community orders a certain amount of pallets, there'll be the food will be shipped down to your city and then it'll be dispersed. So it's kind of like what they was doing back in the day with the 2 million pounds, I think 2 million pounds of fish with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but instead of going door to door the way they did it back then, now we have websites, of course, with modern technology, so we can do it a little bit better.
I think there's actually a brother in the NOI who has a grocery store here in Atlanta, a small one.
Yes, sir. Brother Sharif Muhammad. Yeah, okay. He has it right there by the 10,000. Well, I don't know if it's in the same area, but I know he has the 10,000 Phyllis home there, and then he has the grocery store there, and he has a cleaners there as well.
Oh wow. Where's the cleaners at? Do you know?
I don't know the address. I just posted on my Instagram a couple weeks ago, but I don't know the exact address. But it's in the Bluff, I believe. Okay. And he has a restaurant there. I think there's 2 restaurants in Atlanta as well. You might know about Blue Seas. That's the probably the most popular one that if anybody knows. We have the Blue Seas restaurant there. Then there's another one there we went to during the Holy Day of Atonement. I forgot that name though.
Well, I think I know his grocery store, I believe, is in the Bluff, but not the Dome. So I know the grocery store, I think, is in that area, but I didn't know he had a cleaners and the 2 restaurants. I didn't know. Now, a lot of people, I know as far as the Nation of Islam, they're big on building here in America. And of course, people will say, well, look at Black Wall Street. Look what happened to that. Like, look at everything that we build, you know, white supremacy, racism, they come and destroy it. What's different about the Nation of Islam and the build for self here in America attitude?
Well, in the Nation of Islam, man, our thing is it doesn't matter what we build it, they're going to come. I mean, white supremacy is already there. Are we aware who killed Gaddafi and you know, other people in these different places and countries? So the white man is a universal snooper. We are taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So he is everywhere, you know what I mean? So it's not anything to be scared of. And I'll give you just an example from Brother Neri. He says, have you ever knocked down a ant pile before, either on purpose or on accident? He says, when you knock over that ant pile, you don't see the ants run around talking about no justice, no peace in the line. He says what they do is they built the ant pile right back up. And when they build the ant pile right back up, what you will find is sometimes they build it bigger than what it was the first time. So we can't continue to say, well, if we build it up, they're going to destroy it. Or we just going to lay down and let it continue to happen. We human beings, just like they human beings, you know, we can strive to defend ourselves, you know. So and I don't think in today's time that the white man is necessarily bombing or stopping us from building businesses per se. I don't believe the white man is stopping us from going down there and getting the LLC. Now, you may have some systematic things that may be set up in place, but there's different ways that we can overcome it because we have different people. I know many Black brothers online in the Nation of Islam, outside of the Nation of Islam, that's into real estate. They got restaurants, they got schools, they got technology buildings, and they wasn't stopped. They just figure out ways to overcome it. So we have to connect with those brothers who are already successful and learn how we can do it. And once we do it here, then we take it over there to Africa, or we can use some of their natural resources, which is something that I'm trying to get into as well. With me being where I am on social media, a lot of them in Africa actually reach out to me and watch my content. And we're going to attempt to get into some international trading out there. There's actually a brother named Brother Billionaire PA, who's a part of the Shifters, who's been out there 2 times, and he's creating connections for us to where whenever we as the ship is able to go out there, you know, we can get into some commerce like we do kind of some international trading like we do in China, but do it in Africa, you know, as well. So, you know, when it comes to building, man, you know, we shouldn't be afraid to build wherever we are, or else, you know, it's no reason to actually live if we're going to be living in fear.
Now, you brought up Gaddafi. Now, Gaddafi was a very strong Pan-Africanist. There's a rumor, and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, that Gaddafi gave Farrakhan $1 billion. Is that
No,
true? Or have you
no,
heard?
it didn't. No, it didn't. That didn't happen. I think it's a couple million or a million. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a billion. The time he tried to be a billion, I think. And anybody in the comment section can correct me if I'm wrong. But Hillary stopped it. But it didn't. It didn't come through.
Okay, because, you know, people were saying that,
yeah, it wasn't a billion.
Gaddafi gave, whatever the amount was, gave the Nation of Islam money to be, you know, used or to benefit Black America, and no one knows where the money went. So, you know, I just wanted to get the record straight on that. And then, of course, in the chat room, we got people talking about the Malcolm X situation, but Malcolm X's daughter came out and said the NOI had nothing to do with it. So,
yeah, you know, I mean, if anybody's really serious about the Malcolm X situation, man, why not go to the daughter who's actually spoke with the shooters?
right.
She said several times that she spoke with the shooters themselves, and they said that there was different entities who infiltrated to the Nation of Islam. John Ali, we already know about that. And if you go into Gene Roberts, who was giving Malcolm X mouth to mouth, he was an FBI agent as well. So I really don't want to get into that, because I believe that's just an excuse that many people use to not follow guidance, you know, in today's time. So if anybody's serious about that and love Malcolm like they say, they actually get into the research with it being 2019 and having Google.
Right, exactly. And that's why I brought that up, because again, she said out of her own mouth, they know I had nothing to do with it. So that's
but speaking of where does the money go? When you think about all of the things that we sustain, and make no mistake about it, the Nation of Islam always say we need help. We want help. I believe the Nation of Islam, that's one of the things that actually attracted me to the Nation of Islam. Going back to your first question, is that we not a group that says it's only my way or the highway. I've heard several groups that I won't name say that we are the only truth and everybody else is teaching falsehood. Well, that's not our way. You know, we believe in ours, and, you know, if you believe in yours, that's fine. But we always say, let's unite with our brothers on common grounds. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, let's unite. If you Pan-African, let's unite. If you're a Christian, let's unite. And, you know, when you get on social media and any, or pretty much on YouTube, which doesn't represent everybody, but a lot of people like to say, well, if you ain't in my group, then, you know, we don't want to unite with you. That is not our way. And, you know, when it comes to the schools and things that we have, I don't think people really understand how much money it costs to run it. Because I've asked people sometimes, brother, do you know how much it costs to run one school? Now, you know, I don't know. Well, brother, do you have a school? Do you and your family have a school? Well, you know, I ain't got no money like that. Well, if you know it costs money, all these teachers are being paid by somebody. This school is being paid by somebody. We literally have a school in almost every major city. We have restaurants. The brother who you're talking about, Brother Sharif, he now has a franchise. He's franchised Blue Seas. There's brothers who have real estate companies. I mean, we have security companies. I mean, the minister has taken brothers off the streets, put them on different security team, giving them jobs. They don't have to work for somebody else. They're on security at 24/7 or every day. So those are jobs. The minister pays out of his own pocket the people who work at the Chicago Muhammad University of Islam. Now, for people who never seen the Muhammad University of Islam, I was there about 2 or 3 months ago, and that's why I did the tour of it. It ain't no little shack. No, this is a real school with a gym in it and everything. And we have 2 sides. One side, or at one point the boys are there, another point the girls are there, and then it's big enough to have them there at the same time. So that costs money, you know, to keep that stuff going. The restaurant was bought, and we're trying to get that back going. And we just opened up Foodies, another restaurant right across the street from the mosque. Is called Foodies, and that's ran by the believers. So all of this stuff costs money. So to say like you don't know where the money is going at all, I believe is disingenuous. Now, can we do more? Of course, everybody can do more, but let's not act like we don't have things to actually show for it.
Okay. Now, Pan-Africanism. What's the Nation of Islam's stance on Pan-Africanism?
Well, I would like to ask you what's your definition of Pan-Africanism again, just so that people can see, and then I can give my response based on the context of what you're saying Pan-Africanism is.
I would say Pan-Africanism is the idea that all Black people across this planet, you need to unite as one and move forward as one people with that,
okay,
with an agenda that benefits all of us. Our best.
Well, the Nation of Islam, according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the minister, is 100% in accord with that. In fact, the minister puts it this way. He said there was a man drowning in the ocean. And many of our people are definitely drowning in the ocean right now. And the Muslim came. He threw his rope out there, and his rope was too short to save the man. The Christian came down there and said, I got it. I'm going to throw my rope out there and save the man. The Hebrew Israelite came and he threw his rope. His rope was too short. The Pan-African brother, he came out there and he threw his rope, and his rope was too short. He said, now these people can do two things. They can sit here and argue about which rope is the strongest, which one is the longest, or they can unite on common grounds, tie all of those ropes together, then throw it back out there and save the man. So that is our stance when it comes to us uniting. The minister puts it this way as well. He said, your mother said 3 + 4 = 7. Somebody else said 7 + 0 = 7. And then my man over here, man, he said his mother taught him 6 + 1 = 7. And because they all have different equations, we're all arguing about the equation. But if you get down to the root knowledge and not just the branch knowledge, then you will see if we just have a talk and come together on common grounds, man, we really all get into the same answer. The answer is 7. So that is, definitely our stance, exactly your definition. And I believe that's what we've been preaching even ever since, message to the Black man. He always talks about doing for self and becoming self-sufficient and weaning yourself off one by one. Are we saying that everybody is going to be able to quit the white man job in one day? Of course not. We have to be wise here. So the minister brings us the still-away method. What is the still-away method? The still-away method is if you are on the white man's job, that doesn't mean that is your end all be all. As we taught growing up, go to school, son, get you a good grade, son, get you a good degree, son, so you can work for somebody else for 40 years. Then you get 40% of your check when you get that Social Security check. When you they call it the 40-40-40 thing. That's pretty much a system where, you're depending on somebody else for the rest of your life. The still away method is when you get that extra money from your check, don't go buy no new shoes with that. Don't go buy no new car that you can't afford with that. Start putting that money into your own business. Start investing that money into your own people's. And then once your money on the side is able to sustain you, then you can quit that job. So we kind of like stealing away, like weaning ourselves off of the white man, but we first have to do it mentally. So we got to separate from believing that we have to depend on them. We have to separate from believing that is our only way to become, civilized or sufficient in this world. So that's what you explain is exactly what we're striving for in our people.
Shout out to Amiral. Amiral is a brother from LA who left LA and relocated to Kenya full time. He's been in Kenya now for over 20 years. His statement is the nation has no plan to leave the U.S. This makes its mission suspect.
It makes its mission suspect. Okay, let me go here real quick. I lost the actual page. But basically, and our Savior has arrived. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we have to become self-sufficient and build independently, either in America, Asia. When we say Asia, we're talking about Asia Major, Asia Minor, what it was before then, or Africa. The minister has actually been to Africa and has built out there. I believe we have a school out there, or I think it's a school and a mosque out there. And then we have a brother named JT, the bigger figure, who the minister has given a.
Oh man, hell yeah! I used to listen to JT back when I was in junior high. He's from the Bay Area.
Yeah, JT, he be in Atlanta a lot as well. He has a mission from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You see, he's not necessarily suiting bow tie FOI like that, but he gets his guidance from the minister. And he's talked about this on live stream, and he's built a business school out there, in Africa. Brother Akbar, I don't know if you know who that is. There's a brother who pretty much that's just one of his main focuses on going to Africa and building out there. So for us to say that we have no mission, that's not even a thought. It's actually incorrect. But however, we do believe charity starts at home. So if you say that's suspect, then okay, that's just your opinion. But we have a lot of our people here who are dumb, deaf, and blind, who has been made dumb, deaf, and blind here in America. And that's just what it is. So we're going to continue to do our mission here. We actually have brothers in the Nation of Islam living in Africa. You know, that's not something that's just publicized, but, you know, just, you know, to his point. But charity starts at home, man. We're going to start right here. And I believe that we are gods of the planet Earth. I don't limit us personally to a landmass. So even before it was named Africa, I believe that, you know, it was Asia Major, Asia Minor. So that's why we say Asiatic, because we're not talking about Asian as what we know of today. We're talking about what it was when it was just a whole. So we believe that 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth belongs to us, and we just have to unite to get it back.
Okay.
So whether we're in Africa or here, I talk to people all the time who are on Instagram and Facebook, and they go through the same problems we're going through, and it's from the white man. So the same problem we having here is the same problem they having over there. A lot of them.
Okay. Let's say everybody, let's get these likes up. Let's hit that like button again. We have brother Ben X on the chat. People who will say, even myself included, myself included, that Islam is Arabism. What in that, in order to move forward as a people, we need to religion needs to be put to the side, but some will say religion is a lateral issue and it shouldn't be an issue at all. We shouldn't focus on it. What are your thoughts?
Great question. So, but I have to ask a question after that. What is Arabism?
I would say the Islam that we see today is pretty much as heavily influenced by Arabs. And me personally, I think Islam Islam, in my honest opinion, is not indigenous to Africa.
Got you.
Same thing with Christianity.
Okay. Have you ever heard of an Arab that you know of say the black man is God or the black woman?
No.
Have you ever heard an Arab say that black people are the chosen people of God and that we the mothers and fathers of civilization?
No.
Have you ever heard an Arab say that the black man and woman was first in all races that we see? And when you look at a race, if you ever look at Usain Bolt, a race has a beginning and an end. So if you are a race, that means you have a beginning or end. Have you ever heard an Arab teach that the black man and woman has no beginning nor ending, and all races that we see today came out of that black woman?
The Arabs today are anti-black, majority of them.
Right. So basically what I'm saying is our Islam is not Arabism. Islam to us simply means peace. Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is Islam. So I know that is one of the things that people say, but everything that I just told you came from the Nation of Islam. And actually, a lot of the language that you hear coming out of this book, Message to the Black Man, I hear in other places, Pan-Africanism, Kemet, all these different places. So our Islam is not the Islam that y'all see over in the East, nor is it, we not follow no Arabs, as well. So like you said, if they're anti-black, of course, our Islam is not anti-black. And we agree with exactly what you said when it comes to Pan-Africanism. So, if you're going to say Islam is anything, if you want to just say it, shoot, I would say it's Pan-Africanism. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying, shoot, based on your definition, we on the same page. Okay. But definitely not Arabism. That's
white Muslims.
I wouldn't call them white Muslims. He has spoke on them in several interviews, and I don't know. I mean, I know he's been over there. I don't know what he actually done or said to them, but yes, he has spoke out about it. If you just type in Arab slave trade or Arab slave, Louis Farrakhan, Arab slave, you can find what he said about it. I'm pretty sure he's said it on many different maybe interviews and mentioned it in lectures, and of course he's been over there several times. So I don't know what he said to them. But I wouldn't call them white Muslims per se. If you look into the Quran, first of all, says there's no compulsion in Islam. And if anybody know what compulsion means, that said that you aren't to be forced, or are you supposed to force on anybody? So if you have any so-called Muslim that's forcing somebody to be a Muslim if they're not, or if you have anybody being the aggressor, the Quran says Allah hates the aggressor. And we can fight with those who fight with those with us though. So if you have anybody who's a so-called Muslim and they are enslaving anybody, they are not Muslim. Number one, it's kind of like saying that KKK are real Christians.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I spoke on that.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Please hit that like button. What's the now, shout out to Gab Talk Media, shout out to Amir Raw, shout out to again everybody in the chat room. Again, please hit that like button. We have brother Ben X on, and if you're late to the party, the topic is the role the Nation of Islam will play in Pan-Africanism. Actually, are you familiar with Kemi Seba?
No, sir.
He's a very influential Pan-Africanist. He's based in Benin now. He was actually one of his mentors. Who's the brother that's over the Nation of Islam in LA on the West Coast?
Brother Tony Muhammad.
Yeah. He was actually he mentored Kemi Seba.
Oh, that's nice. So he started here in America, then he went there.
Well, see, he was born in France, and he ended up in LA for a little bit. And Tony Muhammad mentored him, but now he's back in Benin. That's where his family's from. And he loves Khalid Muhammad too. And speaking of Khalid Muhammad, do you know the story behind how he, I guess, was he kicked out of the Nation of Islam? Is that true or?
Well, based on a brother who was there, I actually have to re-upload that interview. Based on a brother who was actually there at that time, his name's Brother Ray Muhammad, and others who I've interviewed and talked to as well. It was just jealousy in the Nation of Islam. He wasn't necessarily kicked out by the minister. Actually, there was a brother who I interviewed said that he was in the room when Khaled broke down crying. And it was because of the jealousy of different brothers who was stopping him actually from getting to the minister. So I can't tell you, I mean, like I was there, but based on what they said, no, he wasn't necessarily kicked out of the Nation of Islam. He just became, disappointed. And they had, whatever they had, and then he went his separate ways and, went to what he started to teach.
How does the Nation of Islam, somebody brought this up in the chat room, how does the Nation of Islam feel about other sects of Islam, whether it be Sunni and Shia? Like, in fact, do Sunni and Shia sects accept and respect the Nation of Islam?
So which question are we answering?
The second one, as far as how's the Nation of Islam viewed by, I would say, the Arabs in places like Saudi Arabia, Mecca, or whatnot?
A lot of them, out of ignorance, of course, believe we're practicing shirk, or it's not real Islam. But if you've seen the last Savior's Day address, the minister talks about how a sheikh gave him his staff. If y'all ever seen the friendship tour in some of the Islamic conferences, how they've crowned him. If you've seen his recent visit to Iran, the things that he shared that they said about him, a lot of the people in high places and high ranking of the religion of Islam there respect him a lot, and they respect the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, a lot of people, even who are the Arabs over there and even black people over here, think it's false or something like that. But we don't pretty much base our validity on what they think about us. On your first question, what we think about them, anybody who submits their will or striving to submit their will to do the will of God, practicing righteousness, isn't doing anything wicked in the name of a religion, using it as a shield for their dirty religion. They are our brothers in faith, and we respect anybody who are striving to do something good and live a righteous life. So that's our view on them, because again, like I said before, it doesn't matter what their religion is, because in the Quran it says that Allah accepts nothing besides Islam. A brother was asking the minister a question about that one time, and this would probably bring clarity to you and a lot of your audience. He said that, brother minister, you go to a lot of churches, the minister speaks at churches and Baptist churches, things of that nature. He says, why don't you go and tell them that Allah accepts nothing but Islam? He says, well, let's break it down like this. It's going to go to my question or my answer when I said Islam is mathematics. The minister says, Islam, man, is peace. Every human being desires peace in their life. A Muslim simply means one who submits their will to do the will of God. Now, are we talking about some spooky mystery God up in the sky? No, every one of us have a God within us. He said we are so righteous by nature, wicked by circumstance. Before we do wrong, we have to convince our own selves to do wrong. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You ever finna go do something somewhere and you may be finna rob somebody, or you may be finna go steal something, and there's a voice inside of all of us, that righteous, some call it the self-conscious, that says, come on, man, you know you shouldn't be doing that. Come on, man, don't go do that. That's the God within. And whenever we have a command from that God, our higher selves within, we should submit to it, because we know it's the right thing to do. That's all a Muslim is. One who submits to what to do to will of God. So he says, if I'm going to the church, or if I'm going here and I'm going there, I don't have to tell them that they have to practice Islam because it's just a title. No, if you submit your will to do the will of God, and if you don't believe in God, brothers and sisters, add an oath to God, and then you got good. Just do good things, all right? And if you submit your will to do that, that's already Islam. You're already Muslim by just doing that. It's not about the culture. It's not about the rituals that you see people do. The minister said a damn devil can pray 5 times a day. Anybody can get down and make salat. Anybody can have their hands like that, but that don't make you righteous. He said it's the rituals that is only a reminder of the principles. So as long as you follow those principles, no matter what you follow, it's going to be okay.
Brother, what's your thoughts on the ADOS movement?
I never heard of it before.
Oh, you're not familiar with it? Okay.
Say it again.
ADOS.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
American Descendants of Slavery. So you haven't heard about it? Really?
Not, I mean, not like that. Not by how you described it, or the name you gave.
American Descendants of Slavery, ADOS.
I never heard it. I never heard it given like that.
Well, how have you heard it given? Like what?
I mean, you just talking about like American slavery,
right? As far as the claim black descendants of slavery have here in America because of the labor we put in, our ancestors, and that America owes us reparations.
Okay. I mean, I heard of the concept. I just never heard of the acronym given like that. You know, also you asking about what do I think pretty much about reparations because of what our forefathers went through?
Exactly.
I mean, I believe we should. Now, there's a thought I want to bring up. Well, no, I'm not even gonna bring it up.
No, come on, bring it up, brother. Come on, I think we need to hear it. Go ahead.
No, because well, of course, I agree. I believe that that we definitely should get paid because we built America. A lot of people like to say white America built it or the white man built it. No, we was the builders back in the day. At that time, we built everything. We was the ones who was the engineers. You just look at some of the some of the pyramids. We the ones had that high science, that technology, or that that know-how of how to actually build. So they used us as the slaves, and nobody works harder than a slave. And because we put that type of work in, and I actually visited Frederick Douglass' house, and the guy who was giving a tour talked about all they went through, like in the cold weather. He talked about how they put piles of food on the ground, and they would have to fight for over that food, and how they worked night and day, of course, and didn't get paid. And one thing that was very interesting for me, and I think something that we should really think about, he says once Frederick Douglass got to a point to where he was doing all of his speaking engagements, because he became a speaker after that, when he employed people, because he went through slavery, he made different things so that it can be easier on his workers, because he didn't want his workers to feel like a slave. And to me, what I got out of that is whatever we going through in life, whatever tragedy we've gone through, we need to use that as a chance to be creative. The minister said, puts it this way: adversity is the mother of creativity. So whatever we've ever been through as a people, whatever you've been through, if you've been on a job, you should strive to create something so those coming after you don't have to go through what you went through. But when it comes to that slavery, man, if we work night and day and we got paid for that, and we didn't get paid for that, and because of our work that we put in America, that wealth is being passed down, you may not be the person who put us in slavery. But if even if you look at Jane Elliott, that white woman, she says you still racist. You're still white supremacy because you are benefiting from what their forefathers did, or what their forefathers bit for you. And because you accepting this being passed down, you're not helping them get back what they own. Then, at the same time, that's still racism. And Brother Malik put it this way. He said, if your grandfather stole my grandfather's clock, I ask you the question: if your grandfather stole my grandfather's clock or his bike or something, and I meet you and I find out that you got my grandfather's clock or my grandfather's bike, what is the moral thing to do?
To give it back. But what they're doing now is saying, oh, well, that was 100 years ago. So I'm gonna keep
Right.
going.
Right. So the more thing to do, man, was just to get the bike back. So because of my forefather, because of my grandfather, you have something. So the right thing to do is give it back, especially if you got this wealth off of my grandfather's back and you built a system that is pretty much tailored against our people. Even if you go back to the Christian black codes and things of that nature, and how you know, they pretty much setting up laws to where even if we want to get our own land, I believe they said that we couldn't even get it in a land that was fertile. So we could get land, but it wasn't going to be even a land that we can grow food in and be productive in. So if you're going to use your power or your so-called supremacy to stop us, then definitely, you know, we need reparations and we need to be repaid back until definitely we can do something for ourselves.
Somebody in the chat room says, ask about the Muslim program in the back of the final call. Is that the Muhammad plan that's in the back of the final call?
Yeah, it talks about giving those who have been descendants of slaves. That's where it goes into the separate territory and helping us for the next 25 to 50 years until we're able to do something for ourselves. So provide us with the resources, provide us with the tools, all those different things because of our what our ancestors went through.
Okay. Now, brother, where does the Nation of Islam stand when it comes to going to Hajj? I mean, that's mandatory, or how does that work?
Yeah, you know, many people have went to the Hajj. Many believers have went. But when we talk about Hajj or, you know, jihad, the principle is going to war with yourself. That's what we are taught. You know, the principle is it's that fight with yourself. It is that that war with yourself, with self-improvement, your lower self. So many of us, the minister encourages us to go just for that experience. It's a nice experience. So that we can get that principle of everybody going, you know, circling the Kaaba, things of that nature. You can't come with jury on, come your way. Everybody comes the same. But again, that's a ritual that reminds you of, you know, the actual principle of things of everybody. Once you on that journey, it's not one over the other. We all equal. And what makes you different is your submission to do the will of God. So definitely the minister encourages it, but he also reminds us that that is a microcosm of the macrocosm of what we're supposed to be doing, going at war with ourselves.
Now, what are your thoughts on, I guess, people of African descent, well, Black people here in America, integrating into today's society?
So you're speaking of integration?
Correct. It has that hurt?
Well, I believe integration was one of the biggest tricks. So what happens is, you know, they found out that, hold on, man, these Black people starting to do something for themselves. So in one of our study guides one day, we was reading about how right out of slavery we had over 60 towns. And some may say, man, how are we able to have 60 towns, man, right out of slavery, but we don't even have, you know, that going on as we should in 2019, but we got degrees, we got master degrees, we got PhD degrees. The minister said, man, we got these PhD degrees, these doctor degrees, but we ain't healing nothing. Got master degrees, but we ain't masters of nothing. We got these BS degrees, and that's what it is, a BS degree. So you seen back in the day, I believe the reason they was able to build those 60 towns and be as productive as fast as they were is because, number one, they knew who the enemy was. So I can still see the whip on your back. I knew what just happened maybe a couple of years ago, so I know who the enemy is. But today, because they've been smiling at us, they've been giving us jobs, feeding us crumbs, things of that nature, that look like they changing up a little bit. Now we don't see really the need to do something for ourselves. I seen a post the other day. They said, man, Facebook and Instagram shut down for a whole day. Yeah, did you experience that?
I didn't.
Well, for a lot of people, Facebook and Instagram shut down the whole day. Everybody pissed off. Everybody on Twitter going off. But as soon as they open back up Friday and I mean, as soon as they open up the next day, everybody was back on proud. And somebody said the same way y'all just treated Facebook and Instagram, you need to treat back Black businesses. It ain't going to always be right. It ain't going to always be the best, but the same way when white folks mess up or do something wrong or piss you off, you're going to come right back and support them. You're going to be happy that they back open again. Matter of fact, Brother Nuri puts it this way. He said, man, Black people, man, we may short you a few French fries.
Oh,
No. He said the white man can mess up your whole order, drop your food on the ground,
right,
and you say, man, I ain't messing with Pizza Hut no more. He said you're gonna be back next week.
right.
He said black people can short you a few French fries, man, short you one hush puppy. You ain't never coming back again. So I believe what integration did was it made us kind of felt like we was involved now. You know, it kind of gave us the illusion of inclusion. So the minister said, man, when white folks allowed us in our hotels, our hotels closed down. When they allowed us to come into their restaurants, our restaurants closed down. When we was able to come into their schools, our schools closed down. And we experienced that here today in 2019 in the school that we have down the street. You know, you may go to the public school, you ain't asking them what they teaching. You ain't asking them what's going on here, what they gonna do here. But as soon as they bring them to our school that we have down the street, oh, you know what y'all be teaching them? You know what's going? I want to see what's going. You don't be treating in public school like that. So we're so critical of our own, but we accept the white man for whatever he gives us. So we definitely believe integration was one of the biggest tricks, and that the best and only answer, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, is separation. Now, is separation segregation? No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that the white man can't come spend that money, because we'll use that money to continue to build for our own. But when we say separation, we mean doing something for ourselves, not depending on other people to do something for ourselves. That is our ultimate goal, which is why I said the ultimate, we are about the business up. We're about the people business, because once we go raise the people up, these are the ones who are going to have these great ideas of building schools. These are the ones who are going to have the great ideas about building technology, or we can have our own platforms, maybe even building our own laptops, building our own cars one day. So our ultimate goal is for us to separate, which simply means not depending on them fully to pretty much sustain us.
Okay. Shout out to brother Gregory White. His question is for the super chat. He says, would it be appropriate to consider the practice of Islam and the practice of a righteous philosophical system as opposed to practicing an organized religion? Do you get that question?
Yeah. Because most people, when they say organized religion, they're really more so talking about the rituals. And I'm saying that based on what I've asked people, because many people say, well, Brother Ben, I love what y'all doing in the Nation of Islam. You know, man, it did this for my family. It did this for my uncle. It did this, you know, people who was in the nation. They say, but I'm not with that religion stuff. I'm not with that God stuff. I'm not with that Jesus stuff. And when I asked them the question, what you mean by God, brother? Which God don't you believe in? Well, brother, I don't believe in this God up in the sky. You know, this spooky God that's, you know, making me rich, making me poor, you know, making these different things. I said, oh, brother, I don't believe in that God either. We don't believe in the mystery God. We talking about God as a being with force and power. That essence, that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that eternal knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that's passed down, that doesn't die, that dwells in the black man and woman, that dwells in you. Oh, okay, man. Oh, okay. Well, I'm with that then. Well, if you talking about, are you talking about the ritual? Are you saying that you're not with, if I drink of this blood on first Sunday, eat of this cracker, then now I'm righteous? Are you saying that you're not with, oh, I'm not with that praying 5 times a day? That stuff make you right. That don't make you righteous. Well, you're right. That don't make you righteous. The minister said, in fact, on one of the videos before my YouTube channel got terminated, he says, if we think like that, if we practice these rituals without understanding the principle, we become religious slaves. He said, because what happens is you praying 5 times a day, you going over to Mecca, you wearing stuff like this, you got your beard, you got all of you doing this, and you think that's what make you righteous. But like he said, a devil can pray 5 times a day. The ritual is only a reminder of the principle. So when you see us and we praying with our right hand over our left hand, or if I ask you, brother, why are you praying with your right hand over your left hand like this? I don't know, brother. That's just what we do. See, when you doing it like that, and you're not interested or striving to learn the principles behind it, then you become a religious slave. But if I tell you, brother, if you got your right over your left, all that is a reminder to keep your righteous over your Lord desires. But you keep your hand right here over the navel, you containing your Lord desires. Because we all have lower desires. I don't care how righteous we want to seem. It may be a woman. It may be weed. It may be alcohol. It may be the strip club. Whatever your vice is, whatever your lower desires is, let's try to keep those in check. And that's a reminder to keep that in check. Oh, now that makes sense. Okay, now I get, you know, so that's what it really is. So when he talks about it's just being a righteous life, that's all it is. Being a righteous Muslim, one who submits their will to do the will of God. So if you in a situation and you got to make a decision, are you listening to your higher self or your lower self? We all have that one God force. How we use it, either for the negative or the positive, that's what makes you a devil or a God. So yes, brother, you know, this is just simply a way of life. We, in fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said Islam is not a religion for us. It is just a way of life.
Brother Amir Ra says the hypocritical nation is for separation, yet 60 years later, they still living in the white man's land. What would you say to comment?
A lot of people have been for separation and still believe and still living in the white man's land. A lot of people who follow Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey came before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they're still living in the white man's land. So, you know, he can call it hypocritical all he wants to, but like I said, separation to us simply means that we are striving to not depend on the white man fully to do for us what we have the power to do for ourselves. There are many brothers who are now separating from the jobs. There are now brothers who are dropping out of college, getting into real estate, buying up the land. There are many brothers who are actually going into farming. There's actually a brother in my city who does the farming as well, who's going into farming, getting our own food. We even produce our own T-shirts. We even produce our own clothing. I got my own shoe that I'm striving to put out, things of that nature. So we're striving to do as much as we can. But if he's the smart one and he is not hypocritical and he has the answers, look, man, we ready for the blueprint. You know, show us an example. Don't just present an idea. Show us your group of people that you're working with in America, and you striving to help them become self-sufficient and free. And we don't mind sitting down with you, working with you. You understand me? To see how we can free more of our people up. But to say it's hypocritical, I wouldn't say that's hypocritical, because I can actually show you people striving to become separated. Me, for one, you know what I'm saying? I'm striving to become separated, you know, to where I'm not working on a white man's job. I'm not focused on just wearing all of his shoes, all of his gear, going, getting just stuff from his restaurants, going to his schools. As you can see, I'm homeschooling mine. You know, I'm not, inshallah, which simply means God willing, mine would never go to the public school in that sense. As far as high school, they're going to be homeschooled, and they're going to be taught knowledge itself from the cradle to the grave. So, you know, I wouldn't say that's hypocritical. If that's the case, a lot of people are hypocritical on YouTube, Facebook, and all over, because hell, a lot of us still stand in America. And of course I'm gonna be in America because that's where my people is. Why would I go with my conscious self to another continent talking about, yeah, y'all niggas dumb and y'all niggas crazy, y'all still stand in America? My mama still stand in America, man. My father still stand in America. My cousins still stand in America. A lot of my coaches, a lot of people that I know still stand in America, and I gotta be an example for them. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you never have to condemn a dirty glass, just put a clean one next to it. So I gotta go out there to the young brother that's still across my way who just want to be a rapper. And talk about gangster rap. He got to see me. He got to see an example. See, we talk so much about this stuff on social media, and we think just a tweet or a Facebook post gonna change it. But when we going door to door, man, we inspiring brothers to see hope, man. We've been door to door. I posted this on YouTube as well, where they said, man, we just glad to see y'all. Then they'll bring their grandson out and say, man, just look at these young brothers. This is hope for me. I don't have no men in my family that I can show them in the physical that, look, man, this is possible as a young brother to do this. So he can talk that all he want to, man, but I'm going to sit here and be an example for my brothers and sisters here in America. A lot of my family is here, and I believe, you know, it wouldn't be wise for me to just get knowledge and leave them here dumb, deaf, and blind. So I'm going to continue to be here, whether they call me a hypocrite or not. You know, I'm just striving to do the best that I can to free our people. I'm
wrong. If you could do me a favor, email me the blueprint if you have one, and I'll send it to Brother Ben X.
Please.
I think that would be fair. Let's see here.
Hold on one second, please. I want it. My charger finna go there.
Oh, go ahead. Everyone, make sure you get the likes up. Hit that like button as you come into the chat room. Everyone, again, thank you for joining. The topic is the role the Nation of Islam will play in Pan-Africanism with the good brother, Brother Ben X. Rashawn, I'll ask that question because I know Brother Obadale Kabone said the same thing. Jamal, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys don't understand how important this Nigerian passport means to me.
Does the hypocritical statement also apply to like brothers like Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, and things of that nature?
Raw, does it?
Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, you know, all of the greats, does that apply to them as well, who also talked about separation?
Raw, if you want to answer. Yes, guys, I do have my dual citizenship. Yes, I do. Let's see here. Okay, Soldier for Real Life. I don't agree with this. The white man is Thanos and he controls everything on his planet. He's conquered 19 of the whole planet. I don't support that. I refuse to. I can't give him that much power. And Brother Ben X, I know in the Nation of Islam, you guys speak on, is it what, the 2,000 year rule? Am I right? Or
6,000.
6,000. Is that coming up soon, or what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, wonderful question. In fact, man, that rule been up in 1914. See, we're taught that slavery started in 1619, but it's really 1555 with John Hawkins. But as far as when the white man was made from us, according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that 6,000-year-old rule was up in 1914. Now, I know what you're thinking, Brother Ben. Damn, well, if it was up in 1914, how come we still under them, Brother Ben? How come they still in power, Brother Ben? How come they still owning this? Have y'all ever seen this picture? Matter of fact, let me put it up for you. Let me put it up for you. If we check this out, check out this meme. You probably seen it before. All right, here we go. Have y'all ever seen this before? Man, you may be a little. Okay, it's gonna be a little.
Okay, okay.
Can you read it?
All we got to do is stand up and it's game over. Yeah.
So that is how I look at this. The minister puts it this way: the white man not just gonna hand over, okay, his power. The white man not just gonna stop. His goal is to take as many down with him as possible. So what does it mean by his time was up? Mean the wisdom of God is already here. The reality of God is here. We got this knowledge of self now. We know how powerful we are now. We know we done heard all the leaders. Okay, we know about Marcus Garvey. We know about Noble Drew Ali. We know about all these different brothers. So the knowledge is here. His time is up, but it's on us to actually apply it. And once we apply this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that's when the time is going to be up. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. So your definition of Pan-Africanism, that is the answer. When we unite with our brothers in Africa, when we unite with our brothers here, no matter what your religious background is, no matter what your political background is, no matter what your status is, that is how we're going to unite. Because they like to say that we're the minority. We are not the minority. We outnumber them 11-1. We're the majority. If we stop separating ourselves by names, if we just go by the original people, we outnumber them 11-1. I believe they said in what is it, 2050 or coming up, in the future. Shoot, man, it's going to be a brown country. Because they going out. They birth record, I believe, the last time we was told is -2. Mm-hmm. They trying to create different drugs and different things to increase their birth rate. So that's our stance on this, man. Their time is up, but we have to stand up. And once we stand up and do something for ourselves, our unity will solve, I believe, 98% of our problems. So once we unite, man, and get into this real estate, once we unite and get into the business, actually learn the business. Once we unite and figure out how we can get the black family together to where how we can homeschool our own children. Once we get into growing our own food, once we get into the international trading with our black brothers all over the country, right if they in China, right if they in Italy, right if they in Africa, get into some international trading so that we can do the same thing that they're doing, but in other countries. But we the majority here, but the majority has to be on the same page. We're not on the same page. That's really our problem. So it's hard for us to see unity. It's hard for us to see his time being up because we got to unite first. Once we unite first, we can actually see how powerful we really are. And you can just see the power that individuals have. I'm pretty sure you can name a couple individuals who powerful. They may have a bunch of land. They may have a lot of brothers employed. But imagine if we all had that boss mindset. Imagine if we all had that solution-based driven mindset. Then we can be powerful, man. And they wouldn't be in power. I personally don't see a lot of white people. Of course, we still paying bills and things of that nature, but I don't see a lot of white people just because of the way I move. When I go, we go into the study group, it's black owned. When our restaurant open down there, it's going to be black owned. You know what I'm saying? So there's much, if we do more things, we'll see that they really don't have to be in power the way, we say they are. And especially, with the dollar now, with the dollar, That's how they got a lot of us control with this dollar, which is just fiat money. It really ain't worth nothing. It's not backed by anything, but it's only being able to be traded because we believe it. But even with that, you got to find out how you are the greatest asset. Asset is something that bring in money. A liability is something that takes it out. So if you believe, if we get to trade this fiat dollar, this piece of paper, that's all it is. If I can trade this only because I believe it, if I believe you got something of value and I got something of value, now you can give me something, I can give you something. That's how we can beat that game. So we don't even have to be slaves to the dollar anymore. We can learn how to make our money make money for us. Now we're not trading our time. Now we're not slave to time. Now we're not a slave to money. So our money can be making money for us. It can be residual income. It can be through real estate. So now we have enough time to do something for ourselves. Now we have enough time to go conquer this world. Because I believe that's one of the main things that we have a problem with is separating. We can get on here and talk black all we want to. We can quote, we can make nice memes, we can post great videos, but the minister says self-improvement is the basis of community development. If I'm not striving to separate myself, that I'm talking for nothing. We can talk about what the nation don't have. We can talk about what the church don't have, but why don't you have it? Why don't your family have it?
Repeat that. Repeat that. Yeah.
I said we could talk about what the nation don't have. We can talk about what the Pan-African. We could talk about that what the Hebrew Israelites and the Christian don't have. Why don't you have it? You got a big family. Why haven't you sat them down and educated them since you're so conscious, since you know so much? And then you can put them down there and then y'all can do it. So when we talk about our community, Brother Malik, my study group coordinator, always says, we always say we need a business. We always say we need a school. We always say we need a restaurant. Well, guess what? If you built that school, if you built that restaurant, guess what we got now? Because you are a part of the we. That is what we need to be focusing on. Because I made this point. Now I'll let you get to the next question. We talk about policing our communities. We talk about we need men in the community again. Okay, brother, what if I said, all right, family, all of the men in the community, we're going to police the community from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. What's going to be the response? Oh, man, damn, man, I'm at work right now. Wait till I get off. Man, I got to wait, man. I'm free this weekend. So even if we wanted to do the thing that we know can work, so many of us are still tied to him or still tied to a job that we couldn't implement it anyway. So that's why we say self-improvement is the basis of community development, and building the people up first is going to be the first step to doing what we want to do for our nation.
Someone in the chat room made a statement, and also I don't know if you know the brother Obadale Cabone in Ghana. Are you familiar with him at all, or?
No, sir.
He said the issue with staying in America is that as long as you're in America and you're paying taxes in the system, or you're financing your own destruction. I know Brother Farrakhan. I listen to Farrakhan. I haven't listened to him in a while, but I used to listen to him just about every Sunday. On the live stream on the site. And I know he mentions, if you're an American citizen, follow the rules, pay your taxes. But people will say, okay, you pay your taxes, you still follow the rules. Of course, you live here in America, you're financing your own destruction because your taxes go towards the guns that the U.S. uses to destabilize our countries across this globe. The taxes go towards the guns that the police use to gun down unarmed black men. What are your thoughts in regards to statements like that?
This is what I mean by having a solution-based thinking. The minister recently said that black people shouldn't pay taxes. Now, when the minister speaks, we have to. I believe he speaks in just different ways. He's speaking to different groups. When a minister says that, one group of people may say, damn, that show would be good if we didn't have to pay taxes. Like if the minister say we need our own school to teach our children. If the enemy won't teach you right or treat you right, he won't teach you right. There's one person that may say, damn, I sure wish that was true. I wonder what Farrakhan gonna do about it. I want him to come to every nook and cranny and do that with his 85 or 84-year-old self. I want him to come to every city, every little small town and set that up. But then there's another group of another person that says, damn, he said shouldn't pay taxes. That's a good idea because we went through all this. Now, what's the solution for this? So let me ask you a question. Do Donald Trump pay taxes?
I guess so. He hasn't showed him yet, but I guess he does.
Yeah, he doesn't pay taxes. Do you know anybody person that doesn't pay taxes?
Depending on who their tax guy is.
I do. I know a couple.
Here we go. They filed taxes, but do they owe taxes? I don't know.
Yeah, I know a few that don't pay taxes at all. legally because due to their businesses. If you know, a lot of white folks, what they'll do sometimes, they'll set up a business, and then they'll set up what you call a nonprofit. And in that nonprofit, what they'll do is they'll send money to the nonprofit and say it was a tax write-off. Right. So a lot of the expenses that you have, when you run in the business, like a laptop, your rent, your car, if you're going out for a dinner, if you're going out for a meeting, they know how to tie everything back to a business. So now it's a tax write-off. So if we don't want to pay taxes, if we say that is what's leading to our destruction, then let's find a way to build businesses. Let's find a way to open up LLCs. Let's find a way to, get into that game to where we can legally not pay taxes. So I can be one person who say, damn, man, Donald Trump, that's crazy. He don't pay taxes. That's racist. He don't pay taxes. I can't believe. Or you can just sit down and be calm, be collective, and just think, okay, how is he not paying taxes? What is he doing to not pay taxes? Okay, set up a business. What do he do? He got the job. Okay, well, let's set it up for ourselves so we ain't got to pay taxes. So we don't have to necessarily pay taxes. And that's one of the things that I'm working with a brother on who actually doesn't pay taxes, to provide that information to you guys as well. We're putting together a program, and I'll be doing, God willing, in the future, a few interviews to show you guys how to set that up to where you don't have to pay taxes legally, not something that you scamming on or, hacking. No, it's just legally. We can do this if we just know the system. Or how things are set up. But you don't want to not just pay it and just go to prison. I mean, you're not going to be very effective in prison. So we just got to find different solutions.
Okay, everyone, let's hit that like button. Again, we got the brother Ben X on with us now. Let's see here, brother Ben X. You said something previous or earlier in the conversation in regards to, if we go to a white-owned establishment and they make a mistake, we forgive them. But if it's a black-owned one, it's, shut them down. I ain't going back. That's why black folks can't do business with each other. That's why black folks can't have nothing. Brother, why do we hate each other so much?
Because we don't have the knowledge of self. The minister puts it this way. He said, knowledge of self feeds love for self. Love for self feeds respect for self. You cannot love what you don't know. Now, we can get on here on social media acting like we just high energy, high vibration, high frequency, and say we love everybody. No, we don't love everybody. And he said, we don't love everybody because you don't even love yourself. And I've been saying often, how can I encourage somebody else if I can't even encourage myself? How can I give a kind word to my brother and my sister if I can't even encourage myself? So when you look at the word brother, the root word of brother is other. You are the other me. I cannot believe you are a God if I don't believe I'm a God. If I look in the mirror every day and all I see is a nigga because of the color of my skin, all I see is somebody who's an inferior, somebody who's a slave because of the opinions that America and society has put on me. When I look at you, I'm going to treat you like a nigga. So if I'm treating myself on the inside like a nigga, when I see you, I'm gonna reflect that. So what I've been saying recently is, even when it comes to trolls, you know what I think about trolls, man? A lot of trolls, when they speaking about you and they trying to bring you down, especially when you like, what does that have to do with anything I'm doing? They're really speaking to themselves. It's a reflection of what they think about themselves on the inside that they're spewing off to you. They say misery loves company. So I believe we have this hatred amongst another because we don't have knowledge of self. But if you knew that, man, I am the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, when it says the us and the hour in the scripture, making mankind the kind of a man, that's talking about me and you. You saying that we are the real Alpha and Omega. When you saying that, man, our body, we got this type of melanin, we got this, we got access to this, man, our body, we at tune with the sun, we at tune, man, that's me. You saying that I can make somebody who can come out looking white and they can have blue eyes and they can have blonde hair. They can all come from me because I'm the original man. Oh my God. You saying, what was my history? We was building. We're the ones who put up these pyramids. The richest man in America is who? Mansa Musa. Oh, once I learned all this history about myself, now I can fall in love with myself. But the reason that we don't have love for self is because all we taught is you was a slave. You're going to get 28 hours a year. 28 days out the year in school, and they're going to water it down. So they're going to tell you Martin Luther King had a dream. Right. He had a dream of integration. He wanted to be with the white folks. But they ain't going to tell you, he said that dream I had that day has turned into a nightmare. He's not going to tell you that he said, I fear I've integrated my people into a burning house. They're not going to teach that because they want you to just only see yourself as valuable when you connected to white folks. So that's why we don't have love for self, because we don't know ourselves. The minister puts it this way as well. And this was a beautiful demonstration he did. He was at a school one day, and he had like he took a picture. He said, brothers and sisters, if I took a picture of this whole room and I showed y'all the picture, I ask you, who the first person you're gonna look for if I took a group picture?
Me, the black person.
The first person you're gonna look for is yourself. Even if you're in a group of black people, the first person you're gonna look for is yourself. You're gonna try to see, was my shirt wrinkled? Was it my good side? Was I smiling? Was I looking right? He says, so that's why we're not interested in the education. That's why we're not interested in what we are learning today, because we cannot see ourselves in the picture. We learn about Albert Einstein. We learn about him. But we're not learning about our own people. We cannot see ourselves in the picture. That's why we're not interested. Because I can't see myself in the picture, I feel like I'm nothing. I'm downing myself every day that I get up. I cannot even see myself being great, because I feel like, oh, an NBA player ain't gonna make it to the NBA. So that's why they even feel like the only way to make it out is through a rapper. It's through being an athlete. Something of that nature. I got to talk about degradation so I can get on World Star, so I can get on Shade Room. I got to do something super crazy as a marketing scheme so I can blow myself up. But what I did was really not good for my brand. But these days we say any publicity is good publicity. So I'm willing to go punch somebody. I'm willing to come outside looking the fool. I'm willing to come outside and cuss black women out and do all kind of crazy things so I can blow up, because that's the only way I'm gonna make it out. I gotta go be a basketball player. I gotta go beat my brother. I gotta go hit my brother with this football pass on. I gotta do something of competition to blow it up, because I don't believe my mind is powerful enough. You know why? Because I really wasn't paying attention in school anyway, because I wasn't interested. So my only way of making it out is gonna be sports or this rap. I can't see myself pooling together 10 black people. I can't see 5,000 black people putting $10 a month in a pot somewhere so we can get into real estate. I can't see myself using whatever I've done in my life to create a course online so I can not only transform lives, but bring in money for myself. I believe real estate is too far out there. I don't know nothing about no real estate. I don't know nothing about no appreciation, depreciation. I don't know nothing about no asset and liability. Man, that's for them white folks. So I can't see myself doing that. And I believe that's why we hate each other. And that's why we treat ourselves the way we treat ourselves, because we have been taught that the white man is God. We have been taught that the white man is the most powerful. We have been taught that the white man is the smartest. His water is colder than ours. So whenever we see our water, we always want to criticize it.
Brother, what we'll do, we'll go ahead and close out. Again, thank you for coming on and, spending your time with us today. What in closing, what would you like to share?
Man, I would like to share, man, that self-improvement really is the basis of community development. Let me say this. If we kill all white people, brothers and sisters, he'll still be in power today. I'm going to say that again. If we kill all white people physically, he would still be in power today. What do you mean by that, Brother Ben? It's not the white man's skin, because we can produce somebody who looks like a white man. It's not the white man's skin that is the danger. It's the white man's mind that needs to be destroyed. Now, let me tie the two together real quick. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us the white man was the devil. We know the devil is somebody who is in opposition or not the original. All right. Grafted, right? He's the grafted. That's what he said in one of his interviews, grafted. Okay. The minister said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me to stop using the word devil and to use the word Satan or slave masters' children. Let me show you why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is important and why having the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as complement to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is important. In the Quran, it says that the angels was asking Allah, because Allah said he's going to place a ruler in the earth. Anybody who read the Quran know what I'm talking about. He says he's going to place a ruler in the earth. And the angel said, what are they going to do besides create mischief in the shedding of blood? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, brothers and sisters, that means the white man. The white man is going to be here for 6,000. He's going to have a 6,000 year rule. He's going to cause mischief in the shedding of blood. Now, we've seen that. We've seen that already. Look at what the minister said. He said, I want to offer you another interpretation of that. We are made from the earth. Our bone is from the stone of the earth. The blood is from the water of the earth. We are the earth. We are the earth. We all one. We are atoms. We made from that one hydrogen atom where all atoms came from, right? Everything we touch is all atoms. He said, if you place it in the earth, it didn't say on the earth, it says in the earth, meaning that we're going to have, God is going to give us power to rule. But because in our underdevelopment, we will use it for mischief in the shedding of blood. Don't the Bible say God is a jealous God?
Yes.
Now look at us today on Instagram. Don't we want to be the center of attention? God is the one who wants to be the center of attention. God wants to be the center of your life. He wants to be that. But look at us on social media. So when we misuse that power, we use it for vanity reasons. So now I want to be the center. Look at me. Look at me. I'm finna twerk. Look at me. I'm finna punch this nigga so I can get on Shade Room, so I can get on World Star. Look at me. So I want to be the center of attention, but I'm misusing that force. God is what? A giver of life, and he's a destroyer. Now, you know, we say life, we're not talking about physical spooky stuff. We're talking about mentally and spiritually here. But look at man when he misuses that force and power. Remember, God is a being with force and power. So if I have this force, I now have the ability to go kill somebody because I want to. But that is a misuse of that power and force. So when we talk about the white man, that is the enemy. But I believe today self-improvement is the basis of community development, and we should be looking at the enemy. Now, I don't know if y'all catch that, so I'm going to slow it down. Many of us are focused on the enemy when we should be focused on the inner me. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man was grafted from us. So he is only a manifestation of our lower self. So we're supposed to look at him and see our imperfection. So you see him robbing, you see him killing, you see him doing that. When you come to the hood, there's a sister. We was going door to door one time. And she said, I ain't with all that black power stuff. The white man ain't did nothing to me. It's the dudes out here that's killing, raping, and robbing. And she makes a good point, because that's all she's seen. Now, of course, if she broadened her horizon, she can see the white supremacy. She can see the projects, things of that nature. But where she at, that is an actual fact. All she seen was her uncle robbing from her. All she seen was one day her grandfather raped her mother, things of that nature. So she sees the black man as the devil. So the minister said the 6,000-year-old rule that we was talking about earlier, that is nothing compared to the infinity of time. Remember, the white man has his time up. Even biologically, he has the time coming up, because they're going to end up weeding out, especially if black people keep mating with them, because every time you have that baby, the dominant gene is going to override the recessive gene. But I ain't going to get into that right now. So they eventually going to go out. So this 6,000-year-old period that we have, we're supposed to be looking at all of their imperfections, and we see that imperfection in them is also in us, and we need to correct that in ourselves. So we need to kill the devil within ourselves. So when I said the white man is still going to be in power, that means that his mindset is still going to be living in a lot of the leadership. Their mindset is what's important. We have to separate from that mindset. And once we kill that mindset in all of us, that's when we'll begin to separate and really believe that we're powerful. Because the minister says, whenever you kill a black man, whenever you save a black man and woman, you have also killed the devil. You killed the devil in his mind. So I believe we all should focus on self-improvement. Where's my family at? I can talk about the Nation of Islam, but guess what? I'm the leader of my family. I can talk about Farrakhan, who is the now representative of the lead of the Nation of Islam. But guess what I am? I'm the representative of my family. So I can, instead of me talking about this church, instead of me talking about this pastor, I'm the pastor. I'm the leader of my house. What is my house like? That's what we should focus on. Is my son still going to the public school? Is my family still 100% eating out the white man kitchen? Is my family still depending on the jobs? That's what we got to focus on. And once we get that together, then I believe we'll be powerful, because when we talk about unity, the root word of unity is unit. Bring that one together. You bring your one together. You bring your one together. But we all got to be strong when we come together. So once we all strong coming together, now we can be really powerful like an atomic bomb. So that's what I want to end off with, family, man. Self-improvement is the basis of community development. Yeah, we can talk about the white man, but let's also ignore the white man. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, ignore the white man. He said he going to have you so smart that the white man will be wrapped around your finger and you wouldn't even know he was there, because we so busy building that we ain't even got to worry about what they doing.
Brother, how can people reach out to you?
Man, y'all can reach me at bookbrotherbenx@gmail.com. bookbrotherbenx@gmail.com. Also, man, I'm creating a course. As many of you all know, I quit college. I quit my job, and I've been self-employed going on 4 years now, just using social media. So I'm creating courses to show you all how you can do the same thing. So if you are a teacher, if you are a motivational speaker, if you are expert and you want to teach somebody something, I'm going to show you how to monetize that. I'm going to show you how to get your own course. I'm going to show you not how to depend on views like I did for so long, but I learned, and let's not depend on views. Let's build a product for the people. Let's build a service, a skill for the people so you can give it to them. And as you transforming their lives, you also transforming your life as well. So as y'all can see, I also just got my own shoe out. It's called Aziz.
Oh,
it's called,
can we see it?
It's called Aziz brand. Aziz is one of the attributes of Allah, which means the mighty one, the powerful, the honorable. Every one of my books, every one of my shoe boxes has a message on it. So this one says, when you feel like quitting, think about why you started. And this is how it works. It's a magnet box. So you open it up like this. Also, me and my brother, we started our own clothing production. So now these shirts that y'all see, whenever you look at a black man, you're looking at God. All of these is we make these at our homes. These are shoes right here. These the blue ones. I got some red ones coming out. So as you can see, this is suede right here. That's leather right here. Got the suede on the top. So this, this is the shoe family. So this is just the one. So we just starting off small, and then we're gonna strive to go large. So right now, this is a high production because they making it one at a time, handcrafted. But I got a brother that's in the Nation of Islam, actually in Mexico right now, and he told me once I get this one in to bring it to him, he's gonna take it to Mexico where he's working and building. They got a factory out there, so we can get the price down and get more stuff like that. We also gonna be like some jumpsuits and sweaters and things of that nature, so we can sell. So I just try to do whatever I can, man. The God, give me wit to try to do something for myself. This hat right here is made by my brother Visions by Design in Atlanta. He make these hats, he make hoodies, he make jumpsuits. So man, we just striving to work, man. And if y'all want to be a part of my course family, I'm going to be showing you how to grow on social media. I'm going to be showing you how to collaborate and monetize your social media. And pretty much monetize your passion as well. Turn your passion into profit. If you want to be a part of that, text BBX class to 555-888. That's BBX class, all capital, BBX class to 555-888. And then I will send you guys, emails and texts when I'm going to launch the course. And if y'all want to book me for anything, go to bookbrotherbenx@gmail.com. Bookbrotherbenx@gmail.com.
All right, brother. And I got to get with you offline because I would like to know where you got your shoes, the manufacturing done. Because I actually have a shoe idea too. So, but brother, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you guys go to Search for a Guru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Again, go to Search for a Guru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time, family. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
No problem. Thank you.